which is why I hate bad Star Trek. Well, now that Smallville and its idiotic fat vampire are over, we can get back to good old Star Trek. And Deep Space Nine at that. Oscar Kim, what do we have today?
Well, today's episode features a creativity vampire.
Oh, good guys, that's theme month. We'll begin the episode with Jake watching some arriving passengers and using them to consider some character ideas and story possibilities.
A Bolian tries to impress a double girl by wearing a toupee. A thief disguises himself as a monk so he can swindle a Ferengi.
A man travels at Warp 10 and evolves into a mud skipper.
And Ferengi gets a sex change as part of a wacky money-making scheme.
A man teams up with Abraham Lincoln to fight Genghis Khan.
Alien holotech allows a man to get pregnant.
4 adults get turned into children. No, wait, that's stupid. Then Jake sees a woman and is fixated on her.
Roxana?
As seen in the pages of Mummified Old Biddy Monthly.
Oh, son of a... Oh.
Hello, Odo.
I honestly forgot she was in this episode.
That's right, folks. It's another Waxana Troy episode.
Oh.
Oscar Kim, why didn't you give me those cyanide pills like I asked for Christmas?
I'm pregnant.
I love Odo's face there. Is it mine? It turns out her husband wants to take the baby away because she married a man who belongs to a culture that's very rigid and believes in extremely rigid gender roles. Men raise the sons, women raise the daughters.
And you married him because...
That isn't what we agreed, that he had said that it was going to be different with us because I wasn't Tavnian. But afterwards, it was as if I had become a piece of property in his eyes.
So you ran away?
And so the Waxana Troy talks about why she came to Odo, that they've been friends for a while. And yes, this is the 3rd episode in which Waxana Troy and Odo have been together, and there actually has been some level of a sincere bond between them. While usually it's a stupid Pepe Le Pew, she's chasing Odo and he doesn't want her wackiness, sometimes there have been some sincere moments. Still, this feels a little forced, but let's see where they go with it.
He won't give up, not until he finds me and gets his son back.
This reminds me of that really terrible Firefly episode, and yes, there are terrible Firefly episodes, about a pregnant hooker who wants to deny the father because he's a jerk. And yet, the reason he's a jerk is because he wants to deny her access to the child. Why is it okay when one person wants to deny access to the child, but not the other? If it's bad for one, it should be bad for both.
The man ain't fit to raise a cactus plant.
They have my child! Held hostage to their decadent ways, and that I will not abide. Now that you've shown your husband how determined you are to be part of your boy's life, perhaps he'll reconsider his position.
Oh, no, not J.L. He's the most willful man I've ever met.
You know, Kim, that actually does seem to be a thing with Waxana Troy. She seems to really go for very solid, serious, dignified men, even though she's a circus clown.
Do you think it's an opposites attract thing? Or maybe more like a she wants a project that she can fix up?
After all, it would be unpardonable simply to abandon ourselves to the moment, would it not?
I can change him.
Meanwhile, the creepy lady, who's not Waxana Troy, approaches Jake. Her name is Anaya.
You're a writer.
I'm working on a story.
I can spot a creative soul a galaxy away.
Are we talking about writing or sex? I'm confused.
And she knew some Cardassian architect, a famous Cardassian architect. I'm not sure, I think he's referenced elsewhere as being the architect who designed Deep Space Nine, but either way, he's a well-known Cardassian architect.
I have a weakness for artists.
Do you know any good chefs?
I was always telling him to stop censoring himself.
More penises, Kel! Your buildings must be yet more phallic still!
I've always wondered what Kel would have designed if he had lived longer.
Yeah, just look at this woman and tell me she's not the distaff counterpart of Dr. Flock.
Oh, I see it! I can't unsee it!
And so they discuss creativity and artists and legacy, trying to be famous and well-known after you die, etc. It's not very interesting, it's very cliche, it's stuff we've heard 1,000 times. And as we're going to find out, that's really what this episode is slow and fairly cliche. Not so much bad, certainly not painfully bad or gloriously bad, just stiflingly bad.
There are ways, exercises, techniques.
Can you show them to me?
Later on at home, Jake passes on going to a trip to Bajor with his dad and Cassidy Yates, even though he was the one who suggested it, because he's kind of caught up with the idea of going to this woman's apartment. Elsewhere, Loxana Troy has everyone bummed out. She sucked the energy out as soon as she entered the room. I can believe this.
Camelot. Love betrayed. Dreams shattered.
You know, in all seriousness, this is actually kind of funny. And again, in all seriousness, I can believe that Loxana Troy would drag the room down.
Either cheer her up or get her to leave, because if you don't, I'm going to throw her out.
I have some free time, and I was wondering if you wanted to take a walk.
I would.
Kestra was 6 years old when she died.
And to prove how fun she is, she's talking with Odo about her dead daughter. Still, points for continuity, this past tragedy was actually explored in a previous episode of TNG. A good episode, especially for a Loxana Troy episode. It seems like Loxana Troy is at her best when she's really sad about her children for some reason.
Tragedy brings out the best in Loxana. Who knew?
Well, I wouldn't have met her.
I think I finally understand why you're so determined not to let your husband take the baby from you.
Do you really need special motivation to want to keep your own baby? I would think you need special motivation to want to give it up.
And so, in typical Loxana Troy fashion, she invites herself into Odo's quarters with a lie. And so they discuss Odo's unrequited love for Major Kira. By the way, Odo has unrequited love for Major Kira.
May I sit down for a minute?
I don't have any furniture.
The floor will do.
Oh yeah, because pregnant women just love sitting on a cold floor.
Again, these two bond in a genuine and nice way. And how sad is it that Loxana Troy is buoying up an episode? Ponder this. So Jake goes to Anaya's quarters, and it's full of candlelight.
Cue the porn music.
Oh no, not the porn music, not with Evil Fly.
I said cue the porn music!
Oh.
Haven't you ever been alone in a woman's quarters before?
Well, not when the women were actually in their quarters. And she gives him some famous writer's pen and some actual paper, which Jake says he's never actually used before. He's always used the computers.
Valis used to say that a writer should put pen to paper as if he were a painter putting brush to canvas.
What you need is this, the old typewriter. Thought to finger, finger to key, key to word.
It's pretty much the same deal over here.
And yet, despite never having written on actual paper, he has excellent penmanship.
And she tells him to go ahead and write without forethought or any planning whatsoever, whatever comes into his head without any thinking. Also known as the Orsi method. I don't like him. And she starts talking about pressure points and how they can be used to heighten a person's mental abilities.
The Indians of ancient Earth call them chakras.
And credit where it's due, at least she's referring to the proper Indians when she calls them Indians.
Even though that's not really really where his chakras are.
This isn't bad.
That chakra opened less like a flowing creek and more like a burping bison.
You're not even going to use the backside of the paper? I thought we were environmentally conscious in the Roddenberryan future.
And as Jake starts writing, Anaya starts pulling light and fog and vapor out of his head and eats it while he's using his creativity. No, wait, that's stupid.